They say New Orleans is a city of music, ghosts, and second chances. But what happened to Liam Monroe was neither poetic nor spiritual. It was a warning, etched into the silence of an empty road, in a neighborhood that didn't exist on any map. What makes this case stand out isn't just that Liam went missing. It's how he came back. Half mad, soaked in sweat, on foot, speaking of cowboys, empty towns, and a bicycle that carried him through hell. Most people laughed. A few believed. But if you listen closely, there are neighborhoods in New Orleans no one talks about, places locals avoid without knowing why, places where streetlights flicker, and the air smells like something that used to live. This story begins just before sundown. Liam Monroe had always been a little impulsive. A graphic designer by trade, he'd recently been laid off. And while most people would have wallowed, Liam booked a solo road trip to New Orleans with nothing but a duffel bag. A Spotify playlist titled Vibes and Vices. And enough snacks to feed a small army. "This is exactly what I need," he muttered, loading the last bag into his beat-up Honda Civic. New scenery, new people, new everything. He didn't know that the scenery he'd find would be empty streets, that the people he'd meet wouldn't be people at all. New Orleans met him with open arms, music on every corner, neon signs glowing like candy-colored dreams, strangers who danced like no one was watching, even though everyone was. He roamed Bourbon Street with a hand grenade in one hand and a beignet in the other, smiling at street performers and jazz bands. But there was something off beneath the beauty. Even as he laughed with an old saxophone player, Liam felt it. Something under the surface, something wrong. He shook it off. Maybe he'd just been stuck indoors too long. The trouble started when Liam's GPS took him on a scenic detour. He'd been driving back from a crawfish shack a few miles outside the quarter, full and buzzing with cheap beer. The sky had shifted to orange by then, the sun hanging low like an omen. "Turn right onto Hollow Ridge Road," the GPS said. The name alone should have stopped him. But Liam followed. It was supposed to lead him to his Airbnb. Instead, it led him to the one part of New Orleans that didn't want to be found. The lights thinned, the roads narrowed, the music faded. One by one, the things that made New Orleans feel alive disappeared. And that's when the GPS froze. "Rerouting," it stuttered. Then nothing. "Great," Liam muttered. "Classic horror movie setup." He chuckled to himself. But when he looked out the window, there weren't even houses anymore. Just cracked sidewalks, overgrown lots, and street signs without names. He slowed the car to a crawl. That's when he saw the old man. A frail figure pedaling down the other side of the street on a bike so old it looked like a skeleton. He didn't look over. Just kept pedaling. Slow and steady. Like he had all the time in the world. Liam rolled down the window. "Hey, is there a gas station around here?" The man didn't respond. Didn't even flinch. "Okay," Liam said, frowning. "That's normal." The car sputtered, then coughed, then died. He tried the ignition twice. Nothing. The silence that followed was total. That's when the cowboy appeared. Out of nowhere. No car. No sound. Just there. He stepped out from across the street like he'd been hiding in the shadows. Long coat dragging behind him, hat pulled low over his face. The air felt like it dropped 10 degrees. Liam stared. A cowboy? In modern-day New Orleans? It felt more like a prank than a threat. "You lost, son?" the man asked. His voice was calm, thick with southern twang, but there was something behind it. A vibration. Something cold. "Yeah, actually. GPS crapped out. You from around here?" The man smiled, but it didn't touch his eyes. "GPS don't lie. You're right where you need to be." Liam swallowed. "Okay, weird flex. Any idea where I can get a battery or a jump?" "Depends," the cowboy said. "You looking to leave or just passing through?" Before Liam could respond, headlights flickered a few yards down the road. A sheriff's cruiser. Finally, some help. Liam waved both arms. "Hey, officer! I need a tow!" The cowboy stepped back, hands calmly resting at his sides. The sheriff didn't move, just leaned against the car, watching. Liam jogged toward him. "Hey, my car broke down. I think it's the battery or alternator or something." And this guy, he turned to point at the cowboy, but the road behind him was empty.
Liam's heart pounded painfully against his ribs. Where'd he go? Liam spun around, bewildered. Who? The sheriff asked calmly, his voice dry as dust. The cowboy. There was a guy right there, Liam insisted, pointing at the shadows. The sheriff tilted his hat back slightly, revealing tired eyes beneath. A cowboy? Son, sounds like you've been watching too many westerns. Liam hesitated, his words tripping on doubt. No, I swear, he was right there. Been a quiet night, the sheriff said slowly, eyeing Liam as though measuring him up for something. Folks don't come around these parts much anymore. Liam felt a chill run through him. What? What's wrong with this place? The sheriff smiled without warmth, turning slowly back to his cruiser. Everything, he said softly. Best get moving. Before Liam could argue, the cruiser pulled away slowly, leaving him alone in suffocating darkness. Minutes felt like hours. Liam tried his phone again. No service. No hope. Then he heard the footsteps behind him, heavy boots crunching on gravel. His breath caught. He turned slowly, dread pooling in his chest. The cowboy was back, closer now, his eyes glinting in the faint moonlight. Told you, the cowboy murmured, you're exactly where you need to be. Listen, Liam stammered, backing toward his car. I don't want trouble. Oh, the cowboy whispered, stepping closer. Trouble found you the second you turned onto this road. He lunged. Liam reacted instinctively, ducking away as a rough hand grasped his jacket. They struggled, limbs flailing in desperate panic, Liam landing a lucky kick to the man's knee. The cowboy hissed in pain, stumbling back. Run all you want, boy, the cowboy growled, recovering slowly. This road never ends. Liam bolted, his feet pounding asphalt, lungs burning, heart screaming. Every street he turned down was the same, dark, empty, hopeless. He was trapped in a loop. Exhausted, Liam stumbled to a halt, breathing raggedly. He knew he couldn't keep running. Then the soft ringing of a bicycle bell. It was the old man again, pedaling slowly out of the shadows. Need a lift? The old man asked casually, as if discussing weather. You again? Liam gasped. Seems you're in a hurry, the old man smiled wryly. Climb aboard. Liam hesitated for a split second, then leaped onto the rusty bike, gripping its frame tightly. The old man pedaled faster than Liam thought possible. Behind them, the cowboy's furious roar echoed in the night. What's happening? Liam shouted over the wind, heart hammering in his chest. This ain't no ordinary neighborhood, the old man replied calmly, pedaling steadily. It's a place souls come to get lost. Sometimes forever. Then who are you? Liam demanded. Just another soul that got trapped, the old man chuckled bitterly. Been pedaling this bike for what feels like 100 years. They turned another corner and Liam's stomach sank. They were back where they'd started. His car sat lifeless, sheriff cruiser waiting silently. You took us in a circle. Liam cried out. The old man shook his head grimly. Ain't no circle. Ain't no road out either. Suddenly the sheriff appeared, leaning on his car, unsurprised. Back again, I see, the sheriff said calmly, eyes cold as ice. Liam's heart sank. Why are you doing this? The sheriff smiled coldly. I told you, son. No one ever leaves. The cowboy stepped out again from the shadows, grinning sinisterly. You didn't listen. No, Liam whispered desperately. This isn't real. It's real enough, the old man murmured, gripping the handlebars tightly. Hold on. The bicycle lurched forward, skidding wildly, barely evading the cowboy's reaching hand. Liam clung to the old man, terrified. They sped down darkened streets, houses blurring together, reality twisting around them. Streetlights shattered, darkness consuming the path behind them. Then, abruptly, the old man stopped. What are you doing? Liam gasped. The old man turned slowly, eyes heavy with sorrow. My time's done, he said quietly. But yours ain't decided yet. He pushed Liam off gently. Liam stumbled, eyes wide with horror. What do you mean? I mean, the old man whispered sadly, it's your turn to pedal. He vanished then, fading like smoke into darkness. Liam stared, frozen. Behind him, footsteps approached slowly. Nowhere left to run, Liam, the sheriff said softly. Liam looked down. At his feet was the old man's bicycle, waiting. He understood then. This neighborhood wasn't just a trap. It was punishment. It was endless. With trembling hands, Liam picked up the bicycle. The sheriff and cowboy watched silently, a sinister amusement in their eyes. Liam climbed onto the bike, heart heavy with dread. He started pedaling, slowly at first, then faster. Behind him, laughter echoed through the endless night.
No one ever heard from Liam again. His car was found days later, abandoned on Hollow Ridge Road. Authorities logged it as a standard breakdown, another missing persons case in a city brimming with unexplained disappearances. They shrugged and moved on, an all too common end in these parts. But rumors persisted, drawing curious whispers among the locals. If you ask around the dimly lit bars on Bourbon Street or the sleepy diners along the outskirts, you'll hear about a man who vanished in a neighborhood that doesn't exist on any map. A few folks even say they saw him stumble back one night, wild-eyed and drenched in sweat, babbling about a cowboy with a dead man's grin and a bicycle he could never outrun. So was Liam truly lost forever, or did he break free only to be pulled back again? In a city like New Orleans, where music and ghosts and second chances collide, nothing is ever quite what it seems. They say if you wander too far down the wrong street, you might catch the distant ring of a bicycle bell, echoing through the darkness. If you do, run. But if you don't, if you're the sort of person who looks for answers in shadows, then ask yourself, what really happened to Liam Monroe, and is his story even finished? He left to escape monotony, seeking something new. Yet what he found was a trap. Sometimes it's not about how you disappear, but whether you ever truly come back. Stay tuned for episode 2 of Dreamt to Life, because some roads loop forever, and Liam's fate might be just the beginning of something far more sinister.
Little